Let's consider the question that we have on the board. You are asked to take the limit of the following function. Now, this method that we are going to use here is what we call simplification method. You understand? All you have to do first is just simplify the function that you are given before you substitute the limiting value. You get what I'm trying to say? Okay? Now, for the first question, you can see that you can make use of difference of 2 squared for the numerator. You understand? The numerator of this function can be written as, listen, the numerator of this function can be written as 1 squared minus x squared all over 1 minus x. You understand? So using difference of 2 squared, you're going to have 1 plus x multiplied by 1 minus x. This all over 1 minus x. Okay? So this will cancel this. So we are left with 1 plus x. Now, honestly, if you substitute the value of x as 1, you are going to have 0. You understand? So in this case, you make use of simplification method. So if you substitute the value of x as 1, the value will be 0 over 0, and that is indeterminate. You understand? So in that case, that is why we proceed to simplify the function before we substitute the value of x as 1. You get it? So now, having simplified the function, we have 1 plus x. Now, we can now substitute the value of x as 1. So I'm going to have 1 plus 1, which is what? 2. Okay? For the next function, we have limit x all over root of 4 plus x minus 2 as x tends to 0. Now, to take the limit of this function, we have to rationalize. You understand? I'm very sure you have heard of conjugate before. Okay? We have to rationalize. So, what I mean by rationalization is this. You can see that this is the function that we are given, x all over root of 4 plus x minus 2. Now, if I want to rationalize this function, I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. You understand? This one, you should have been familiar with this. You have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate. So, the conjugate of the denominator is root 4 plus x plus 2. So, I'm going to multiply both the numerator by and the denominator by root 4 plus x plus 2 all over root 4 plus x plus 2. So for this, I'm going to have x root 4 plus x plus 2 all over. Now, root 4 plus x multiply root 4 plus x. That will be what? 4 plus x. Okay? Now, this multiply this, you're going to have plus 2 root 4 plus x. And this multiply this, you're going to have minus 2 root 4 plus x, and minus 2 multiplied by plus 2. That means you're going to have negative 4. Okay? Now, you know that, please pay attention. Do you even know what I'm doing at all? I just I show you this next step because I want you to understand it, okay? I'm very sure you will have heard of conjugate before. I take the conjugate of the denominator. The conjugate of the denominator is what? Root 4 plus x minus 2. So, root x plus 4 plus 2. So I multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator of the fraction. Okay? Now, having done that, if you multiply this by this, you're going to have this. This times this, you're going to have, this times this, you're going to have this. This times this, you're going to have this. Okay, plus 2 times this, you're going to have this. The minus 2 times root of 4 plus x, you're going to have this. The minus 2 times plus 2, you're going to have negative 4. Okay? Now, having gotten to this point, you can just, this can eliminate this because we have positive 4, negative 4. And this can eliminate this as well. So, the final answer, the conjugate, you're going to have x root 4 plus x plus 2 all over. Now, we don't forget that we are having x here. We are only left with x. This plus 4 cancel this negative 4. This plus cancel this. You understand? So I'm going to have this over x. Now, if you are solving this in the exam, you didn't have to show all this long step, okay? It is because I'm teaching you. That's why I want you to understand what I did before I put the function here. So I'm going to have, here we're going to have x root 4 plus x plus 2 all over x. Now, don't forget as well that this x can cancel this x. So we are left with what? we are left with root x, root 4 plus x plus 2. Now, please pay attention. When x is 0, what are you going to have? You're going to have root 4 plus 0 plus 2. Now, root of 4 plus 0, that is what? Root of 4. Square root of 4 is what? Is 2. You understand? So I'm going to have 2 plus 2. And 2 plus 2 is what? Is 4. So the limit of this function as x tends to 0 is 4. Do you understand? Okay. Now, let us look at the third question. We have limit x to the power of 3 plus 4x all over x squared minus 2x as x tends to 0. For the third question, all you have to do is that just factorize. You understand? You have to factorize x, both the numerator and the denominator. So for this, I'm going to have x to the power of 3 plus 4. Okay, x to the power of 2 now. X to the power of 2 plus 4. All over now x minus 2. What I did was that I just factorized x. You understand? I factor out x in both the numerator and the denominator. Now, having factorized x, this can cancel this. So I'm left with what? X squared plus 4 and all over x minus 2. Now, please. So we have x squared plus 4 all over x minus 2. Okay. I think the question is ambiguous. Okay. Let's check. I think something is wrong. Because do you know the reason why I said that? The reason is because if you take the difference of 2 squared here, you're not going to have, you're still going to have indeterminate, you understand? So I think, let's change this to negative, you understand? So I'm going to have negative here. Let's change this as well to negative. So this will become negative as well. Now, we can take the difference of 2 squared, you understand? Because x squared minus 4 can be written as x to the power of 2 minus 2 to the power of 2. And the difference of 2 squared will be x minus 2 and then x plus 2. You understand? So for this, I'm going to have x minus 2 multiplied by x plus 2 all over x minus 2. You understand? Now, don't forget that this x minus 2, we can eliminate this. So we are left with what? X plus 2. Now, when x is 0, you understand? I'm going to have 0 plus 2. 0 plus 2 is what? 2. You understand? So 0 plus 2 is equivalent to 2. So the limit of the function x to the power of 3 minus 4x all over x squared minus 2x is, as x tends to 0, is the limit is 2. You understand? Okay, so I'm very sure you understood how to take the limit of a function using simplification method now. It is also possible to use another method to take the limit of a function, like especially when you are evaluating the limit of a function as the limiting value tends to infinity. You understand? So we have done that in our previous class though, but we didn't delve more into complex question. But in this class, we're going to look at it. Okay, the limit of a function to infinity. How do you do that? Let's consider the question on the board.